Alright, let's try the egg here. This has not been easy in the rain with the mono rig. Using a mono rig, you know, if your rod gets wet, the line likes to stick to the rod. Kind of a pain, but we'll make it work. Fortunately, it's just drizzling, so let's see if we get any takers on the egg. Yeah, I guess we can. That was a really subtle take, and I almost didn't set the hook. But when in doubt, just always set. You'll have to excuse me here, I've got a pretty bad cold, so probably shouldn't be out here fishing, but can't help myself. There's a lot of rocks here too, so it's having to kind of use discernment on whether or not it's a fish or a rock when my line straightens out. A lot of times with the egg, you know, it's a heavy enough tungsten bead, and this is a, you know, this is an 8-pound mono setup all the way through, you know, 8-pound Amnesia to 3x cider. So a lot of times, you know, you'll feel the fish. They usually thump it pretty good if it's a bigger fly like an egg, but not always, so. Gotta use discernment. Cast out a little further. Try this softer water out here. Now there's a little ledge out here. There's a little trench they'll hang out in. But the key is to make sure you don't snag on every cast. Oh, that was a fish, and he took my fly. Of course. Alright, oh well. Alright, so I put on a Frenchie here since that last fish took my last egg. Not my last egg, but took my egg that I was using. It's pretty rainy right now, and it is October, so there are a lot of baitas around. Last few times I was fishing this river, or the last week, I did see a lot of olives flying around and things like that. So we're going to see if you know, maybe they're honing in on something like that. Yep, there we go. That was, again, just a very, very subtle take. You know, that's I think this is a size 2.4 or 2.8 tungsten bead. It's a 16 or an 18 hook, so yeah, you're not gonna, even with a micro setup, you're really not gonna feel a lot of those takes on something that's small. So really just what you're looking for is for the line to, you know, pause for a second, move the opposite direction, do anything unnatural, really. And you know, like like Clancy Egan says, set it, don't regret it. Euro nymphing's a stealthy enough approach that you don't usually have to worry about spooking the fish by setting too many times, depending on the fly, especially if it's a small fly. Alright. Barbless hook, popped right out, nice and easy. Alright, let's see if we can get it up. Alright, so once again, the rain is making it a little difficult to cast any distance. You know, the monoline really likes to stick to the rod when it's wet. So, you know, just having a good tuck cast is important. Also, what I try to do is, you know, I try to set at the end of every drift, and that sort of gives my nymph a little more momentum, you know, for when I'm going forward. Makes it a little easier to get a little more distance on it. Yep. Or maybe that's the bottom. Yeah, I think that's the shelf I was telling you about. There we go, unsnag. They are hanging out near this little trench. Let's cast up a little more. I think it's important to note, when I'm casting a Euro setup, I'm not lobbing at all. I'm using, you know, typical traditional fly casting principles in order to maneuver the weight of the nymph there. And because, you know, this Amnesia line is nice and memory free, it does behave a lot like fly line, but a lot of people think that Euro nymph casting is, you know, just a lot of lobbing, and I just think that that couldn't be further from the truth. If you're not working on your tuck cast and not learning how to get that line to do what you want it to do, you're going to be missing out on a lot of fish. Right up here towards the start of the pool. And then we're going to move down just a little bit. Sawfish rise over there. Again, probably feeding on some sort of midge or a baetis. So let's see if we can get that in his lane. Yep, there we go. sometimes, you know, if I'm using the Euro setup and I'm seeing fish rise like that, but, you know, they're taking emergers, you know, they're doing that, that sip more than that, just totally out of water rise. Sometimes, you know, take a Frenchie or something and I'll just lift my my fly up higher in the water and, you know, try to emulate an emerger. If that's what they're keying in on, you know, a Frenchie or something like that can imitate something like that pretty well. And I'm not sure if this is that exact fish that I just saw rise, but it was in the same area, so. And he did take that Frenchie. And I acquired this hook, comes right out. Nice little rainbow. And sometimes they just don't want to be grabbed. Alright, buddy, thanks for playing. Now, I do set up my tippet pretty much the same, no matter what, no matter where I'm fishing, no matter what the depth is. You know, from my colored sighter, I'm usually tying on, you know, about 6 to 7 feet, preferably on the longer side. You know, you're gonna cut it down as you keep changing flies, but my my method is I just measure out an arm span of tippet material. In this case, this is 6X fluoro from Orvis. And once I've got the arm span, I'll just pull off another foot or two. And you know, I think that kind of consistency, even if I'm fishing more shallow water, you know, it kind of helps me, just because I'm so used to fishing that length. It really helps me to gauge where my fly is down in the water. You know, if I've got a 7-foot tippet section and I'm holding it 4 feet out of the water, I know that I'm 3 feet down, and so on and so forth. So, just a little tip about that. Yeah, there we go. It got off just in time. That's alright. We were gonna let him go anyway. Alright, we got another one on the egg here. If I can actually net this one. I should have reeled in a lot more line. That's what I'm gonna do now. Alright, dude, what are you doing? Oh, that was weird. I did just see another fish rise over here. and obviously the egg is working, but if it doesn't work, again, in a few minutes I will switch over to something more, to match the hatch here. Yeah, there we go. Well, he hit that one nice and hard. I didn't really need the cider for that one. Now, I know a lot of people do say, don't bring the fish's head out of water till you're ready to net it. But I have found with the Euro setup, because the rod has so much flex to it, it really does keep a tight hold on them. Not that they can't shake the hook, but I do find that when I'm bringing them in, when they're tired out enough, getting their head above the water, it does give me a lot more leverage. Takes away their ability to, use their tail and speed off in another direction. So, just a quick note there. Now it's right about where I want it to be. I'm having a little trouble with the line sticking to the rod because of the rain to actually get it, but I think that's kind of the zone where most of them are hanging out. Yeah. And I think that just proved my point. So again, once he's gotten a little bit of his energy out, like I said, I will get the head above water. Sort of gives you the advantage, on a normal fly line setup. Yes, they could spit the hook because there is less tension, or it's less easy to keep the tension with a traditional fly rod setup than it is a Euro rod and an extra long mono leader. But yeah, don't be afraid to do that as long as you keep tension on the fish. I can't get it by that falling down tree over there. Isn't quite close enough. Oh, yeah, there we go. As much as I love, oh, it's a brookie. Nice. As much as I love Euro style fishing, sometimes there's just nothing that can beat a sinking line and a streamer. Just classic. Yeah, beautiful. Nice male brookie and spawning colors there. Hey, buddy. Alright, thanks for playing, man. Cool. Black woolly bugger gets the job done. Alright, despite the rain, we made it happen. Got a handful of rainbows. Had to use a few different techniques. But, you know, there's definitely a lot of olives hatching. A lot of bugs around, especially with the rain. You know, it's October. Rain in the cold. You know, it usually brings out the olives. So, you know, just switch things up. Put some streamers, some jig streamers. Use the 7 weight. So, all in all, pretty good day. So, all right. Until next time.